Hey, so remember when I had this like amazing setup and now I'm just back to holding my camera awkwardly? Well, you guys know what time of the year it is, or rather what time of our lives this is. Things have been kind of stressful for me lately, so I did this video really quick for you guys just because I wanted to get that out there, share what manga I've been reading, but my apologies for the low quality this time. And then hopefully when I come back in July or August, it'll be super awesome quality. But in the meantime, I really appreciate all your guys' recommendations. I wasn't able to get a lot of them this time, so again, my apologies, and I hope that everybody's staying safe, that you're staying well. I know that, people have been having a really, really tough time, myself included. Please, please, please do yourself a favor. Go take a walk today. Go do something today. Call a friend. Do something for yourself. Feel well, okay? Everybody's going through a tough time. Just feel well. Do whatever you need to do that. All right, let's go get to the manga. Here are the manga volumes I collected in March and April 2020. Let's go ahead and get started first with Alice 19th. And this one was a recommendation from Life is No Fairy Tale, all one word with a bunch of underscores. Thank you so much for this rad recommendation. And let me tell you why it's rad. Check out that shoujo logo, that old Viz Media shoujo logo. So awesome. In fact, this series is so old that the author briefly, in a commentary in this volume, mentions 9/11 as an inspiration for how she wrote certain aspects of this story, and wow. Now, I will say that she didn't say like, oh, 9/11 inspired the story, but she says that like how she handled certain tense situations was inspired based on the impact and the emotional response to 9/11 that the world was going through. But yeah, certainly dates this manga, wouldn't you say? Now, I will say about this manga, it was good. It was a lot of fun. In particular, I really like how the main character and the sister's boyfriend have this kind of like weird love triangle going on, but it's hard to say why without you really reading the story, but it doesn't come off as cliche or like tired. It's really good because you like all three characters. Like the sister isn't like some monster. She's just is a person, which I really enjoy. And the author really, really trusts us readers to kind of just stick with it, because the magic stuff, with the exception of this like bunny mascot character, doesn't really start happening until the end of the volume. Like, you get little hints of it here and there, but it only really starts to kick off at the end of the volume. Like, dang, the author's just really trusting of us. I will say that this manga is in my school's library, and I do see a lot of my students reading it, and yeah, I can see why now. It's really good. I think it's aged well. If you're into shoujo stuff, magical girl stuff, definitely check it out. Thanks for the recommendation. It was good. Next we have Cardcaptor Sakura Clear Card Arc Volume 7. And look at it. It's so beautiful. Seriously though. And Clamp, once again, thank you for not doing your silly thing where you just end series on a terrible, terrible note. I have a feeling that either somebody at Clamp, like headquarters, or their editor, or like somebody who had money in their pockets went, don't mess this one up. Don't do it. Make sure this one's good. There's a lot riding on it, and they were like, okay, we'll do it. So this particular volume reintroduces two of my favorite characters from Cardcaptor Sakura Part 2, Ruby Moon and Spinal, who are just, oh my gosh, they were favorites when I was a kid. I loved them. But yeah, and again, this volume answers more questions. All the answers are awesome. The art in particular is really good, especially if you read the original Cardcaptor Sakura and then go to Clear Card Arc. It is amazing how much the art is improved. It loses some of that cool nostalgic like appeal, but it's good. In particular, I really like the humor in this volume. It's a lot of fun. Next we have Dorohedoro, which was a recommendation by Smiling Spectre. Thank you. Really appreciate it. And okay. Some of you might think I'm rich because of all the manga I show every 2 to 3 months, but trust me when I say this, I only have so much money. I buy like pretty much like new, like, and when I say new, I mean like brand spanking pre-order new where I can save money or use these days. I want more of these volumes so bad. I can't even tell you. Like, oh, it's so good. And normally I'm not into like this grungy stuff. I mean, look at this cover. It's so grungy, but I can't tell you how good it was. So Dorohedoro is the story about this guy who basically one day he wakes up with a lizard face and no memories. And he's like, oh crap, I don't know who I am. And also I have this urge to eat people. And when I eat the people, they get stuck in my throat and they see a guy who is living inside me. And the guy asks them, if they are like the chosen one or not. And then he figures out if they're the chosen one or not. And then he kills them, or I kill them, or both. And it's like, what? And the cool part about Dorohedoro is that it's written by a woman. So, and I'm not saying that you have to be a woman in order to write great stories, but usually you don't see a lot of women dive into these sort of grungy, violent genres. And you also get, like, in particular, at least in this volume, two really cool female characters. There's a third one who shows up for a little bit. And gosh, I want more. I want more so bad. I'm hoping that the anime can satisfy me because I cannot afford this manga right now. Viz signature stuff is really expensive. And although it's really slim, I will say you get a lot of content in this volume. You get a lot of content. So in my opinion, I think it's worth the buck, but I just can't afford it right now. Dot Hack, Legend of the Twilight Omnibus, Volumes 1 through 3, the complete collection. Right Stuff, bless up. They did a $1 sale like a week or two ago, and I picked this up because of that. I used to own all 3 of these volumes as a kid, and I really only I read this series like backwards. I think I had like 3, and then I got like 2, and then I think I got like 1 like right before I ended up losing most of my manga. And like, so this has a lot of nostalgia for me. I never played the Doc Hat video game. I've always wanted to, just because I heard it's good. But I really enjoyed this series. It's cute. All I remember is it's about 2 kids who basically, like, they win a contest, and the contest gives them, like, skins to use in this online video game that are, I believe they're skins of, like, previous characters from, like, the actual Doc Hack video game. So they're not those characters, but they look like them, and they go on their separate adventure, and it's super cute. And in particular, my favorite part of this manga volume, and really all of Dot Hack Legend of the Twilight, is the very, very, very end, where you get to see what everybody looked like in real life. Oh, I just love that. I think it's like one of my favorite tropes. It's like the big reveals to see what the characters actually look like. Super cute. Next, of course, the Heroic Legend of Arslan, and gonna be real with you guys, I haven't had the time to read this, because every time one of these stinking volumes comes in the mail, I have to like reread at least like the first or like 2 before this volume, and I'm just like, because it's just so complicated. This plot is so complicated. But I'll hunker down and read it. I may wait for like the 13th volume to come in before I do that. Hiromu Arakawa, really good. Having read everything up to this point, I can tell you that it's good. It's worth it. Go get it. Next is Jujutsu Kaisen, and this was a recommendation from Alex Evans, and whoo boy. So I'm 28 years old right now, and let me tell you, if I was half my age, if I was 14, this might be one of my favorite manga volumes of all time. Like, wow. So this is straight up shonen. This is shonen at its finest. So you have a kid who basically, like, this monster attacks his school, and this, like, Sasuke-looking dude shows up, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's a monster, I need to defeat it, and in order to defeat it, I need to use my powers, and his powers aren't good enough, so this guy eats, like, basically, like, this spooky, haunted finger of, like, this old, like, demon monster, and he ends up becoming partially possessed by it, and ends up being able to use these cool powers to fight against these monsters. And so it's very, like, Naruto-esque, where it's like, oh, I have a monster inside me, so edgy. But the main character, like Naruto, is very laid back, very fun, very, like, friendly. Nothing too much to write home about as far as the main character, but I really, really enjoy, again, some of the female characters in this. Oh boy. In particular, the main female lead, who you meet you meet her in this volume, but you end up really getting to know her in future volumes, is really fun. She is a lot of fun, and I've been reading the manga ever since getting this volume, strictly because of her. I'd say she's the best character in the series. I finished this first volume, and then I got so excited to read the rest that I went online and I read all the chapters legally available on the Shonen Jump app, which they're missing like about 10 in the middle, so I just kind of skipped those and hoped for the best. And honestly, it worked out really well. So am I going to get any more volumes after this one? Probably not. I mean, I can't put this in my classroom. It's just too violent. And I was shocked at how violent this series really gets. I mean, there is full-on depictions of mass death. I mean, it's huge. Like, and that's not to say that that's a bad thing, but I'm just shocked at what, like, Shonen Jump is willing to put in their magazines. Like, between this and Chainsaw Man, I'm like, dang, man. But a lot of fun. Great recommendation. Thank you so much. And just as a side note, I thought this was called Jujutsu Kaisen at first. And I was like, cool, martial arts. No, definitely not. Next we have Sailor Moon, Volume 8 of the Eternal Edition. And I put this one up here. Usually I like to put my volumes in alphabetical order. I put this one up here just because it's so stinking big. So we got Chibi Moon on the front. Again, another beautiful cover. Her face didn't get messed up. Nice. So, yeah, Dream Arc. This marks the finale of the Dream Arc. And the Dream Arc is probably my second least favorite manga arc, my first being Black Moon. I really like the Dream Arc. I mean, I like the whole series. I like Black Moon too. But it's just kind of slow compared to some of the other arcs, and the stakes aren't as high, and it's just kind of like, okay. You know, I don't really like the whole, like, Pegasus thing as much as some people do. And again, that's not to say that this is bad. I'm just saying that not my favorite. Now, Volume 9 that comes after this. Ooh, that's the good stuff. That's Stars. And Stars is awesome. For those of you manga bros out there that are watching this, I'm not saying to, you know, dive into Sailor Moon, to devote yourself to the majesty that is Sailor Moon. But Stars is really good. Just saying. Sailor Moon's like 12 volumes regular. Eternal Edition's only 10. Just saying. I'm just saying. Just saying. Anyway, moving on forward. It's a legal drug. This is, so this one I got for $1 on the Right Stuff sale. Yeah, here's the thing about legal drug. See this symbol on the front? I'm not going to say what this symbol represents, because I like money, and I like getting that ad money. So I'm not going to say what this is, but you all know what this is. And, this is what I like to call blatant false advertising. So, not that I went into this volume expecting this or wanting this, it's just that this doesn't show up at all. It is never mentioned once. Ever. Why? Like, they work at a drugstore? I get it. But why? Why, Clamp, you do this? This implies a lot of things that are not in the volume. In fact, this is a boys' love comic. It's like half boys' love, half like supernatural suspense. Basically, the plot of it is that these two high school guys work at a drugstore, and they kind of have like a thing. It's like a will they, won't they kind of thing. And then they work for two guys who have a definite thing. And the two older guys send the younger guys on various supernatural missions because both of them have supernatural powers. This wafy-looking one way more so. And by the way, you can always tell in a Clamp's boys love manga which is like the so-called feminine of the two, because the feminine guy will have like this extra tuft of hair every time. Look for it. Every time. Except for maybe xxXHolic. But anyway, I'm not really into boys love, I'm gonna be real with you. It's just a preference thing. And I mean, for those of you who like that stuff, I mean, I guess this is good. But I thought this was kind of just like a beta xxXHolic, which it really is a beta xxXHolic. Everything that Legal Drug does well, xxXHolic, in my opinion, does way better. And for some people, that's including the boys love stuff. So unless you're a huge Clamp fan, I wouldn't recommend Legal Drug. Just do xxXHolic. Just do that. Next we have Livingstone, and let me just tell you straight up, guys, who recommended this? One of you guys recommended this, and I lost you. I don't know where you went. I had this whole document on my computer with all the recommendations that were given to me, and I just happened to lose you. I don't know what happened. So please write that in the comments so I can give you awesome accolades in the top of the description of this video, because, oh, that was a gross sound. I'll explain what that is in just a bit. I mean, gosh, look at this art. Look at this art. Yeah, you recommended this, and I got the first one, and I immediately went out and got these three. Like, oh, so good. So, Livingstone, it's by the same author as Deadman Wonderland, except that it's by the same artist, as Deadman Wonderland. So if you liked the art of Deadman Wonderland, which I certainly did, but you didn't really like the story as much, which, again, me, this is amazing. So it was written by this playwright who... yeah, this, I believe, was just like a sort of like a one-shot, like, short stage show, and then it was adapted into a manga, and wow, it's really, really good. I don't know if it was cut short or canceled or what was going on, but it's only 4 volumes, and in my opinion, I think it's 4 good, compact volumes. It's sad that we didn't get any more besides this, but in my opinion, it makes for a good short read, and I didn't mind buying the volumes as a result. So, unfortunately... because again, I like to save money, I got these used. And did you hear that disgusting sound? This is what happened to this volume. It had this like thick, which you can still see in the front, this like plasticky library covering. So I tore it off. And yeah, I did that to it. I just didn't even try for the front. I was not going to do that. So, whoops. Buy from libraries at your own risk, my dudes. That's all I'm going to say about that. Oh yeah, probably should say a little bit about the quick plot of Livingstone. So it's about these two guys who go on supernatural missions from this older guy who runs a shop and, No, that's that plot. No, for real though, that's what it is. And basically, they determine that every single one of us has what's called a livingstone, or like this like rock inside of our bodies. And this livingstone is the soul that is passed down through many, many different lives into our own. And they said like livingstones last for I think for like 5,000 years or something like that. So some livingstones are really old, some are new. Either way, they like basically work to save people from their livingstones shattering and causing like untold destruction. It's good, and it's cool in that one of the characters is human. He's just like a normal human, but he has like supernatural powers where you can see the memories of the dead. The other guy is a body without a livingstone, so he's kind of like this strange, emotionless, kooky guy, and it's awesome. I really, really enjoyed this story. I really liked the conclusion in particular. Check it out if you're, again, a fan of Deadman Wonderland, or you just kind of like Deadman Wonderland and wanted something more. This one's a lot of fun. Next we have Noragami, Volume 21, and the art is so good. This particular volume features one of my favorite characters, Kazuma, a lot. I really like mentor-type characters who struggle with having to maintain a large following, which as a teacher, you know, that's my life, so I get it. Yeah, again, Noragami, really stinking cool. My only complaint is that Noragami, much like the series Inuyasha that I compare it to a lot, doesn't really seem to know where it's going. There's not really like a clear, definitive ending. Yato, the main character, is Noragami. He is the stray god, and he wants a following so that he knows he can live forever, because in this world, your prayers and wishes actually power the gods. And so there have been gods who've literally died because they don't have any followers, and Yato is so scared that's going to happen to him. And it's like, okay, so we got this like main villain, and he's doing his main villainy things, but like, how are we going to get to the conclusion? What's that going to look like? So other than that, Noragami's a lot of fun. Again, I recommend checking out the first volume, seeing if you like it. It's just so good. Trust me, it's good. Next, we got Non Biyori volumes 7, 8, and 9. And, I love these volumes. Look how cute they are. I'm going to turn my volume, or rather, I'm going to turn the camera. I was going to say, I'll turn the volumes around, but I'd rather just turn the camera really quick to show you these cute volumes. Oh, they're so cute. So yeah, Non Biyori. It's a slice of life, Azumanga Daioh-ish sort of manga about these 4 girls who live in a rural community. It's super cute. I mentioned in my big manga collection video that I wanted to get more, so I got more. I believe I think they're like 12 to 14 volumes total, but there's not any plot. Again, it's just kind of about their day-to-day lives, so don't go into this expecting like some grand emotional journey or something like that. You're not going to get it. I will say, and this is nitpicking big time, trust me, the plot of the series is that there are 4 girls and 1 guy who all go to this same, I believe it's like K through 9 school. And their town is so tiny that the school itself is literally abandoned. And they use like 1 classroom because they don't need more than 1 classroom. And look, if you literally have 5 children in your entire town that need to go to school, they're all going to go to what's called a centralized school. So they would take a bus out to another town, and children from surrounding towns would all go to the same school. In fact, that's literally how they do it in like where I'm around. So no, this would not happen. But other than that, yeah, really, really stinking good. A lot of fun. If you like that sort of slice of life stuff, Non Biyori can do you no wrong. Next, we're going to go to One Piece, and Wano is a blessed arc. Let me just tell you right now, Whole Cake will forever be in my heart, but Wano is coming real close to the beauty of Whole Cake, in my opinion. So we have Queen, who first off, Queen, beautiful. Queen bros, rise up in the comments, thank you. I love Queen so much. He's such a fun character, and he does some crazy stuff in Wano. Really, really liking Soba Mask a lot. I know Oda's probably not going to do anything with him from this point on, but you know that as soon as a figure comes out of Soba Mask, I am going to be immediately buying it. Just saying. And of course, we have one of my new favorite characters in One Piece, Toko, and that's her father there. And let me just say this right now. Wano completely destroys everything that Dressrosa's father-daughter relationship had going for it in one volume. Just one volume, that's all it took. Like, it's amazing how their relationship and this just again, this one volume just completely topples everything in Dressrosa. So yeah, Wano, amazing, incredible arc. I love just the art is so good. The colors are just magnificent. I'm really, really glad that Oda made Wano a fun, super colorful, amazing arc, and not this like drab, serious thing a lot of fans were expecting it to be. Next, we have the box set, the first box set of Pita-Ten, and some of you are like, CJ, what the crap is that? I've never heard of Pita-Ten. Why her eyes so big? CJ, why big eyes? Well, let me tell you, this was back in the dark ages of the 2000s when every anime character had to have these like huge big eyes in order for us to even recognize they were anime. Pita-Ten is marketed as like this cute comedy because Koge Dambo, I think that might be how you say the author's name. They really, really like to do these like cute, like sort of DG Charette funny comedy stories. And so this one was marketed as like, it's a cute story about an angel and the kid she's trying to make happy. Hooray! And no. Like, yeah, it's cute. It's got its comedic moments, but it starts to get really, really dark real fast. So this was another Right Stuff sale thing. I got this whole box set for $1. That's why I got it. To relive some of my glorious, glorious childhood memories. This would have cost, I think, about $30 back then. So yeah, I just got it for a single $1. That is amazing. Excited to dive into again. It's been a long time since I've read it, and I have a feeling that I'm going to get a lot of nostalgia with it, and at the same time, a lot of glorious, glorious memories and disappointment. Hooray! So, hey, speaking of disappointment, no, I'm just kidding. RG Veda, Clamp's first work as a group, and gonna be real with you, I haven't made it too far into this yet, simply because it's just so, how do I put this the right way? Slow? It's just slow, and there's a lot of characters in here. Like, it kind of feels almost like high fantasy, where it just keeps introducing these characters who show up for like a hot minute, and then they're just never mentioned again. Like, it's crazy. Clamp's art, of course, as you can see from this volume cover alone, is gorgeous. I mean, it's just absolutely gorgeous. And it's really, really cool, again, to see some of this old Clamp stuff. Like, especially because the same artist who did Magic Knight Re-Earth did this one. So, again, I'm getting a lot of cool nostalgia vibes reading this. I think it's just going to take me a while. And, like, again, I'm not, like, bored with it. It's just, like, really slow. And it's not something I would read just, like, for, like, kicks. Like, it's just like, nah, it's just kind of slow. But again, my goal is to own every single Clamp series, at least one volume of every Clamp series. I'm not going to own multiple volumes of certain Clamp series like X. I'm like perfectly fine with just owning one volume of that, which is fine, by the way. I also bought Legal Drug. So yeah, looking forward to what this volume holds. Not sure if I'm going to get anything past this one though. Sherlock, A Study in Pink. This was another recommendation, this time by my friend Justin. Thank you, Justin, for the recommendation. And yeah, I gotta admit that I was skeptical about this one at first. I was like, oh, really? Sherlock? Like, I liked the first 2 or 3 seasons of Sherlock, and then it kind of went off the rails, and I was like, really? Like, really? I don't have to buy the manga. And then I read it, and it was good. I mean, I like this a lot better than the episode that it was based on, at least. So there's John in the back. The art's pretty good. So yeah, what I like is that obviously the author based characters off the actors who play them, but the characters themselves have their own unique vibrance in the manga that they don't in the actual episode. So Sherlock, for example, is way more expressive in the manga than he is on the TV show. He has like this crazy reaction to things when he's amused in the manga that he never has in the TV show. And it's really kind of funny. And they also took away the whole, like, my mind is a computer, like waving numbers around with his hands and stuff like that, that it was really cheesy in the TV show. They take it away from the manga, and instead they just kind of show you what he's thinking in his mind, which is way better. So if you like Sherlock, I'll tell you right now, if you like Sherlock, immediate buy. This is a really good adaptation. If you didn't, or you're just not interested, you can skip this one. Next we have, and finally we have, xxXHolic volumes 4 through 9. I just kind of stacked them up, so I'll go ahead and just kind of show them like this. Yeah, xxXHolic is good. It'd be good. Look at Yuko. Yuko is kind of interesting because she's definitely the, I want to say like the mascot of the series, but at the same time, the main character really is Watanuki. Watanuki is the main character. It's not Yuko. Although Yuko is, again, a driving major character, she's not the main character. And most of the time, in fact, we'll see here. Yeah, most of the time he's on the back cover. So again, pretty interesting the way Clamp did that. But xxXHolic, as I've mentioned in my manga haul video, my manga collection video that is a crossover with another series called Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles. Now, I think that idea was super cool to have two unique stories that were going on at the same time where the characters influence each other through the events of their separate stories. At the same time, though, Tsubasa started off strong, xxXHolic started off strong, but when Tsubasa got weaker and xxXHolic got stronger, it ended up being a problem because a lot of xxXHolic's weak points eventually ended up invading Tsubasa's weak points ended up invading xxXHolic's story like a disease to the point where it got to be obnoxious. There's this one part later on in Tsubasa where like you end up figuring out a major revelation about a character in xxXHolic that's only vaguely ever mentioned in xxXHolic. And it's like, yo, that ain't cool. That ain't cool. Now, if you like Tsubasa, all power to you. This is not me saying that Tsubasa is a terrible story and you're terrible for liking it. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it has a lot of strong elements to it. It's just that xxXHolic is so much better in my opinion. But unfortunately, like Tsubasa, eventually xxXHolic didn't really stick to what made it strong and kind of went off into this sort of like melodramatic, like, ooh, what is destiny? Ooh, like, let's just think about our problems and talk about them for a long time. And ooh, like it wasn't very likable anymore. Best 3 story arcs from xxXHolic, which are all in these first 10 volumes. I'm sorry, well, these are volumes 4 through 9, but I own the first 10 volumes. Strongest story arcs. The one with the school with the bad luck game, like the Ouija board style game, that one was really good. The next one I would say is the woman who was sitting at the window who never moved. That one's amazing. And then my personal favorite is the one where the rain spirit shows up and she's like, yo, you gotta help me with the problem in this park. And then I won't say anything more than that because that story is just so good. xxXHolic is always a recommendation from me, but unfortunately, only those first 10 volumes I would ever recommend. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. As always, I really appreciate recommendations, though again, my warning, I may not get to those for a while. It's just been kind of a weird time for me. And until next time, this is CJ, signing off.